What happens when you start to imagine life somewhere else? This is one of the most fun and exciting parts of your journey. It's also the very first step. This is the dreaming phase. This is the seriously considering it phase. And then it turns into the, okay, wow, I think I'm actually going to do this phase. I remember this well from all 3 times that I moved to a new country. I remember my thoughts about this. I remember the conversations I had with friends and family. So let's talk about it. You're probably going to feel a mix of 2 main emotions. There's going to be a lot of anxiety and there's going to be a lot of excitement. You're going to be anxious in the very beginning because you're not quite sure which country is going to work best for you. And maybe you're thinking about the actual process of moving and how much money this is going to take. You know, all of this is still pretty uncertain in the very beginning. But then you'll sort of get excited and you'll think about yourself in this new country and you'll think about becoming the best version of yourself. And that's really exciting. So you'll kind of, bounce back and forth between these 2 emotions. The confidence that you'll gain from living in your new country and culture will allow you to achieve things that you wouldn't have been able to do back in your home country. Living abroad gives you the ability to try things that might surprise you. Now, maybe you're just fine. Maybe you don't need to reinvent yourself. That works too. Once you remove yourself from the rat race of Western culture and you find yourself in a new place with a lot more time, you'll be able to focus on things that make you happier and bring you joy. So even if you're not looking for a new you, you'll almost certainly get one. And there'll be a happier, more complete, more aware version of you. The second thing that's really fun to think about, especially in the early stages of your planning, is the fact that you're going to get all your free time back. When you move to a country that has a lower cost of living, you're not going to have to work as much, and you're going to have time to do all of the things that make you happy. You're going to be able to focus on all the hobbies that you've given up, and you'll be able to start new hobbies. Now, of course, one of the major things you're going to have to deal with is learning your new language. That is a formidable challenge, absolutely. And I'm going to talk more about that in a different video. But in addition to that, you will have time to do all kinds of things and start new things that you simply don't have time for in your home country. You will have a work-life balance that is absolutely unachievable in the United States or Australia or the United Kingdom. Okay, I've got a fresh cup of tea for this next topic. It's a big one. We're going to talk about friends. Friends and how they might react when you tell them about your plans to move abroad. They're going to be surprised. This could be a very difficult conversation for a lot of your friends. In fact, when you first tell them, some of them, of course not your super close friends, but some of your friends are probably going to think that you are maybe making this up, maybe you're trying to get some attention, maybe you're not really serious about this, they may not take you seriously at all, and if they do, they might think you're a little bit eccentric, that they might not understand, and this can be a bit difficult. This is something that you're going to have to accept, right? This is going to be part of the new you going forwards. And your friends are going to have to learn to accept this too. For them, from their point of view, you're saying to them that you are opting out, right? You are leaving the only culture, the only life that they and you have ever known. And for them, for some of them, this is unthinkable, absolutely unthinkable, right? You're saying, I'm no longer interested in climbing the corporate ladder, or I don't care about having the big house in the suburbs, I don't care about having a car. That's another big one right there. Not having a car, currently I live in Ecuador and I don't need a car, I don't have a car, and I'm saving a lot of money by not having a car. It's wonderful. But for many people, for many of your friends, the concept of not having a car and actually not wanting a car is such a foreign, crazy idea. For many people, this is just unthinkable, right? I mean, in Western culture, a car is such a social status symbol, right? It's a symbol of success. So for many people, this, if you tell them you don't want a car, this is just like madness. They just don't understand. So you're telling them you want to leave the culture and you're going to go live somewhere else, and you're just no longer interested in the Western dream, right? That we're all supposed to be pursuing and chasing. This is challenging for a lot of people. This might even end some of your friendships. Even some of your very close friends might find this very difficult and might challenge you on this. You might have some heated conversations. Really, this could get a little difficult, a little awkward between you and some of your friends. And you might just have to deal with the fact that some of them are not going to accept this. They're just not going to believe you. Or if they do believe you, they're going to disagree with you, and they're actually going to push back and tell you that you're crazy and you shouldn't do this. So this could be the end of some of your friendships. Now, at this point, I want to remind everyone watching that I'm not just drawing on my own experiences to tell these stories. Of course, when you move abroad, you're going to meet a lot of other people who have moved from their home country, and they're all going to tell you their stories too. But I have an extra source, right? I teach English online, and I speak to literally thousands of people all around the world who are learning English so that they can move out of their home country. Many of them do move out of their home country, and they continue practicing English online with me while they're living in their new country. So I get to hear firsthand the experiences of literally hundreds of people from different countries around the world. Let me just give you some statistics from my online English school where I work. I have met, now I've been doing this now for about 5 years, I have met 2,656 different students, and many of them call often, right? Many of them are repeat students. I have had 8,118 conversations to date with students all around the world, and I can tell you the most common reason that they are learning English is so that they can leave their home country and achieve a better life abroad. So I'm getting a lot of this information from their experiences too. This next topic is something that might sneak up on you a little bit. You'll of course have a list of reasons why you want to leave your home country. Well, once you start thinking about leaving and trying to decide on a new country to live in, you're going to think about those things even more, and you might find yourself becoming even more critical of those things that you don't like. So maybe now that you're living in your home country and there are some things that annoy you or irritate you, maybe there are some things that make you angry, but you might find that the things that once simply annoyed you actually start to make you furious. And these can be all kinds of things. I mean, the obvious things are political situations or education or healthcare, but it might even be things like traditions or customs that are common in your culture that everybody else thinks are totally normal and acceptable. Well, once you start to think about life abroad and you realize that there are very different ways of living and doing things, some of these traditions that everybody around you thinks are totally fine, some of these things might seem to be a little problematic or even unacceptable. Now, going back to our conversation about your friends before, these are definitely things that you probably just don't want to bring up with your friends when you're when you're talking about your future plans. Most of your friends, and certainly your family, are just not going to want to hear this. They don't want to hear it, right? They're not interested, they don't understand, and they're not going to listen, and you're not going to change their minds. That's why they're not leaving, right? You're the one who's thinking about leaving. So something to think about, and if it happens, maybe just keep some of those things to yourself. So now let's talk about something that is a little more challenging. I hear about this problem from many, many people, and hopefully I can clear it up for you and even give you a response that you might be able to say to some of the people giving you pressure. And that is that you might be accused of simply wanting to run away from your home country. I've heard this from hundreds and hundreds of people that when they tell their family and they tell their parents that they want to move abroad, their parents just say, "Oh, you're being ridiculous. You need to just stay here and deal with it. You're just running away," right? This is very common. Here's how you answer that. You're going to have a list of reasons why you want to leave your home country, but you should also have a long list of things that you're excited to do with your new life in your new country. Of course, things like new hobbies or taking up old hobbies that you no longer have time for in your home country, but things like learning a new language and becoming a member of a new culture and a new community. You'll have more work-life balance, as we discussed. So you'll be able to do things, you'll be able to actually give back to your new community in a way that you probably can't do in your home country because you're trapped in the rat race, right? You don't have time to volunteer, even if you'd like to. So you're going to be very excited about all these things. Of course, the obvious stuff like travel and making new friends and trying new foods. But mostly, you're going to be able to find meaning in your new life and happiness that you just cannot find, you cannot achieve while you are stuck in the rat race of Western culture. So, if you have a list of reasons like that about your new life, then you're not running away. You are simply choosing to have a better life, a life that you cannot achieve. It is literally impossible for you to achieve in a Western society. Hey, thanks for watching my video all the way to the end. All right, a little bit about me. My name is Jason Alvey. I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I left Australia when I was 26 years old. I went and lived in London for 2 years. Then I lived in Minneapolis, United States for 22 years. And now, as I'm recording this, I've been living in Ecuador for just over 4 years. Right now I live in Guayaquil, but I've lived in different cities in this country. I've been helping people with questions about living abroad for a long time now. And if you want to see exactly what I do, what services I offer, and the rates that I charge for them, there is a link to my website down below. If you want to check out my photography website, there's a link for that too, as well as a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page. If you really enjoyed this video and you'd like to support me by buying me a coffee, I would really appreciate that. That'd be great. I want to let you know I don't use AI for any of my videos or photography, and if that is as important to you as it is to me, then I want to say thank you for supporting a person who's creative without the use of AI. If you're also a creative person who doesn't use AI, tell me what you do. Maybe I can support you too. Okay, here's the part of my video where I say something crazy. I'm going to ask you to not subscribe to my channel. That's right. Please don't subscribe to my channel unless you are really interested in moving abroad and you really want to watch some of my videos. So here's the thing, if you're maybe a friend of mine and you want to support me by giving me a subscribe, hey, that's really cool, I really appreciate it. But if you subscribe to the channel and then you don't watch any of the videos, that sends the wrong message to the algorithm and then my videos won't get shown to as many people. So if you really want to support me, maybe you know somebody who is thinking about leaving their home country. Maybe you could share one of my videos with that person. That would be awesome. That would be really helpful and I would really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Righto, cheers.